Ecocycle is a 10-year-old company founded in 2014, of course based in Nairobi. And the story of how I came about with Ecocycle, I grew up in the village. And so I grew up just like in a surrounding like this with trees, no sewer pollution. And when I cleared university and moved to Nairobi for job search, the one thing that bothered my mind is just seeing raw sewer in the street, something that I had not experienced before in the village. So I started working in automotive industry, but at some point I got a scholarship to Germany. Wow. And while in Germany is when I got exposure and learned about the concept of recycling sewage to reusable water, just while relaxing at one of the beautiful parks in Hanover City in Germany. And so while there, I felt the thing that I've been craving for, the solution that I've been thinking we may need back at home is right here. So I thought if I go back home, I'm going to found a company that gives such a solution. And fast forward, 2014 came. When I came back, I was employed a bit by someone that was almost doing the same thing. Right. So I learned a bit of loopholes and what was happening in the market. And so come 2014, I felt I was ready to do it as myself. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I had already been working in several projects, and I felt I was ready to found a company and give a solution as what I had seen in Germany, where they turn sewage to reusable water and just maintain clean cities.
Okay, interesting. Lucy, when you first started, one of the biggest challenges is, of course, convincing people. Yes, you do have a product that's amazing, and word of mouth is something that us as Kenyans, we really rely on. But the fact that you're working with waste, did you have any stigma, any misconceptions? People were a bit worried about, would this work?
Yes, so definitely there was the yuck factor. Okay. That's already the biggest stigma. You're telling a market that has not experienced a lot of sewage being turned to water. Yes. So there was the yuck factor. Do I really believe you? Are you sure you're going to give me odorless, clear water? Secondly, it's 10 years ago, so I was 10 years younger. Wow. And a graduate engineer, not even registered to being a professional engineer. So, and my target were these engineers that do projects. I convinced them so that they convince their clients. So I remember just in the second month, an engineer saw our website. Because I was young, by the way, I already started with everything set. My website was set. So this engineer walks in and says, young girl, I have seen your website. You seem to have a very good technology. So what is this about? And as I was explaining, he tells, hold on, first of all, are you a registered engineer? Then I say, no. He's like, okay, if you have to convince us engineers to convince clients, then you have to register and become a registered engineer, because you're too young, you're not registered. If you stand in front of us to tell us about this thing, nobody will believe you. So again, there, what I would bring in is, if you are a professional, you sort of need to comply with the regulations of that profession, because engineering, law, and doctors is the three regulated professions. And then, of course, the price. Back then, the system was VAT exempt. It was a bit cheaper, but still people were saying it's quite a high price, because they're comparing to some other cheap solutions that don't necessarily give you clear, odorless water. So you're fighting a high price. Everybody loves German machines, but they don't want to pay for German machines. Like the founder of the German company, when he came around in the beginning of the years, he just said, hey, your market, they want to drive Mercedes, but they want to pay the price of Mazda. So it's very true. So very true. It was, that was a challenge. And then again, recruiting. Yes, we're in the university, we've graduated, but you realize wastewater is sort of not yet a detailed subject being taught in university. So it's a new company, and you also have to spend time training people that you're trying to hire. We are all young, so you're trying to sell, you're still teaching another person, but it pulled through. Okay. Yeah.
So you mentioned that in the beginning, obviously, it was really hard to convince people to pay this particular amount of money, which is obviously higher than market price. So the pricing point is a challenge, of course, in the beginning at least. Yes. So how did you ensure that you're able to monetize this particular plant to be able to make money sustainably in the long run? And how long before you first, broke even and were able to make money?
Okay, so the first 10 projects that I talked about were very useful. They were like the pilot project.
Okay.
So the doubting Thomas, like the Bible, before I could convince anyone, they want to see a working system.
Yes.
So the first 10 systems, I may say I was lucky. They came in very fast. And I believe it's because of my expertise and being professional working with these consultants previously, because when I told them to take up, it was very easy. But then from the 10, we had to do a lot of, it's like preaching, like it was just days of going around sites, meeting people, preaching about it, and then they say, can you show me where it's working? So these 10 projects were always a great showcase, and they helped us to move, because in the next year we moved very fast. And actually in the second year is when I got the biggest project that Ecocycle has ever done, a plant that recycles 150,000 liters of sewage every day. It's a gated community bigger than this estate. So it was taking them to site to see. So before I could break even, just like business school says, it was up to 2017. But then in the first 3 years, it's really setting up and trying to move traction and create. But financially to break even, it was after 3 years. So you start rising 2018, then COVID came.
Of course.
So back down to zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Lucy, as we had mentioned in the beginning of this particular conversation, we're standing on a garden right here, which is watered by this recycled sewage water, and the plant is behind us. Maybe we can go there and you can take us through how the system works.
Yes, thank you. And I must remind everyone, Ecocycle is about safe sewage for Africa. So when we talk about safe sewage for Africa, basically what we mean is we are turning something that everybody thinks is harmful, is waste, and that needs to be discarded back to something valuable, just like what you see here. This is recycled water from sewage. Probably later we'll be able to fetch the raw sewage and show you. So basically sewage treatment is a combination of science, biology, chemistry, and all that. So when you acquire an Ecocycle system, what you have to do is first you need to build a tank. Okay, of course, before you build, we'll do the designs, we'll do the calculations, and come up with the best capacity per day. And we always design the systems based on the population of people occupying a premises. So what happens is a tank will be built as per our dimensions. So in this case, this is the tank where the sewage sits. It's usually about 5.6 meters by 2 meters wide, so taking very little space in your home. So the last manhole comes there, like all the sewage from the house, from showers, toilets, kitchens, bathrooms, hand wash sinks, we take everything. Unlike other systems where you will be told to separate the other type of wastewater from toilets, we take everything, and everything comes to this little system. So when it comes in, it flows into the first chamber. So this tank is divided into 4 chambers. So you see the inflowing. You may have some yuck factor moments because this is where you see the real raw sewage.
Wow, that's the sewage.
So it's flowing in, and then it overflows to the second chamber. Now you can smell it. So we need to close it so that it doesn't get smelly. Now it's smelling because it's not processed. So it overflows to the second chamber. And the design is to enable any solids or non-biodegradables to remain there. So
this
here
already smells better.
Yes. So you just had the system turn on its own because we have a PLC, programmable logic control. So it's an automated system with its own brain. So it has timings to come on and off. And what it's doing now, this is an air compressor, sucking air from the environment and infusing it down into the sewage through these air hoses that you see running through this conduit. So basically I'll try to keep it very simple. It's biology and chemistry, biochemistry. So our sewage has microorganisms. If you give them oxygen, you're helping them to grow and mutate. So when they mutate, the new bacteria, for them to form their mass, part of what is in the fecal matter is their food. So the fecal matter that we think is waste is actually what they need to grow. So as they feed on it, they generate water and CO2, and that's how you remove the fecal matter out of the sewage. So this takes about 8 hours from when raw sewage is fed in. This is called aeration, like infusing oxygen. And after 8 hours, the breakdown will have happened. Then the machine will go off on its own, go into settling mode. The clear water comes on top. the biomass goes down, so the clear water again, the machine pumps it to the last chamber.
Okay, so now we're at the last chamber.
So maybe I need to fetch once more, so you don't think we took it from a tap.
Okay. So she's going to fetch the water and see how clean it looks.
Let's see whether my village tactics still work. Perfect.
Hey. Look
so
at that.
This is clear, odorless water from sewage. Yes, no smell. You can confirm.
Oh, wow, no smell.
So when we say safe sewage for Africa, this is what we mean, and we are living it, we are doing it. Clients are enjoying green spaces courtesy of recycled water. So we can support the president to plant the 15 billion trees by recycling all the sewage in Kenya and in Nairobi, and keep green spaces and ensure no sewer pollution in the environment. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And of course, we're standing at someone's house, in someone's garden. So maybe we'll also get a bit of feedback from them on how it is, because they live here day to day. So we'd like to know if this water is truly odorless.
Sure.
All right, and with me I have Justina, the homeowner of this beautiful home right here with this lush garden. And of course, this is where the plant is, the sewage recycling plant. Maybe you can tell us more about your experience with Ecocycle, how long you've had it installed in this particular house, and how it's been so far. Is Ecocycle 100% odorless, the water that is recycled, that is?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm actually very excited about Ecocycle. It's been 6.5 years since we got this system.
Yes.
And it has been lovely all the way around. You can see the lawn is green, and this has been my biggest desire, to have a lawn that is green and that is really lively, and you love just walking around when the lawn is like this and the fence is green.
Yeah.
So that is the most important aspect about this system, and the fact that the water comes out when it is very clean, like you've already seen it comes out odorless and very clean, and yeah, it's been very good to have this system. And the other bit about this system is that it helps us to economize on water.
Yeah.
Like you realize, all of us in Kenya, the seasons are changing. We are having less and less rain. And so if you can be able to maximize the water that you're using and do so much with it, then that's a plus to me. And the other thing is that it is natural. It's a natural way of watering your grass and whatever else it is here. It doesn't have chemicals. And that is also a plus to me, because I don't like chemicals. So actually we are very happy. We are very happy to have such a system. It's a system that I recommend to everyone, because you can see it's a testimony. What you're seeing is a testimony that this plant really works.
Yes. Okay.
So very happy. We are happy with Ecocycle, and we feel blessed about the system.
Okay.
I recommend it to everybody.
Amazing. And Justina, you've done a good job as well, because you've just adapted this Going Green movement wholly. The fact that you have decided to go green with Ecocycle and recycle sewage water, it's a great way to just ensure that we are maintaining sustainability all round.
Yeah.
So we need more people like you,
Oh, yeah.
we need people like you to encourage other people as well to be able to recycle water, and yeah, just to ensure that we're doing something for the planet.
Yeah, and keep our environment green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that has been Engineer Lucy Wen. So much for joining us. Of course, the founder of Ecocycle. Ecocycle, as you've seen, is a functioning plant that really just ensures that water is recycled to be 100% odorless.
Yes, and clear.
And clear, as you've seen for yourself. So I hope that you also, if you're watching at home, you're able to just adapt to sustainability and be able to recycle water as well. It also helps in, of course, cost efficiency.
Yes.
It lowers your bills, your water bills. So this is also a win-win for you. Aside from helping the environment, aside from going green, you're also helping yourself and you're helping your pockets.
Climate action, planting trees, being sustainable, creating safe spaces for the future generation to grow. So yeah,
it's all a movement, and I feel like the more people watch such shows, the more people watch such conversations and see it take place, and of course see it in action, I feel like that's when you can truly convince people to go green 100%.
Yes, the seeing is believing, and yeah, join the Safe Sewage for Africa movement. Let's go green. let's have safe spaces.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of Green Warriors right here on Green Fix. I am Shiksha Aurora. Until next time, we'll be doing this all over again with somebody else, and of course just highlighting their voice and amplifying their mission, which is to ensure sustainability is achieved 100% here in Kenya and of course globally as well. That's it from us for now.
Thank you.